Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to another review video. Apologise in advance, it appears I've come down with a bad case of man flu. So in this one, I am literally going to be eating my words because I was very cautiously optimistic about Gotham Knights. I genuinely thought we were going to get a game to a similar level as anything in the Arkham series, but as it appears, I wasn't just wrong, I was miles away. So, there's not going to be no spoilers in this. I'm just going to go through my thoughts. First thing that done me head in was they've taken away the block or parry, whatever you want to call it, and replaced it with dodge. So now instead of blocking and parrying and then counter attacking, you just all four of the knights are all jumping around like they are the Flying Graysons. It's, I don't know, if they just kept that, the combat might have been a little bit better, but as it turns out, the combat is not even in the same league as any of the other Batman games. They could have kept the combat the same, they could have just tweaked it a little bit, but instead they just absolutely destroyed it and took a game that could have had so much potential and just literally, for those of us who've bought it, took a shit in our pocket. So that's the first thing. They took away dodge parry and replaced it with mash the circle button or whatever it is on the Xbox and jump around like you're one of the Flying Graysons, doing cartwheels and backflips and dodging, and it's pointless. The block parry was way better than this stupid dodge. And they introduced all the upgradable gear, which isn't really upgradable. There's no, I mean, when you hear of a game coming out like Gotham Knights and it's, oh, you can upgrade all your gear, you can get new gear, you'd think there'd be like the odd OP weapon like you get in some of the Assassin's Creed games, where you could just literally fly through on Game Plus and kill everyone with the same weapon. No. You upgrade your character, you get your new suits, you upgrade your melee weapons, and at best you get a slight visual change in them. Yes, some work better against different enemies than others, but I don't know, it just felt a little bit, I'm not going to say what I was just going to say because I'm going to save that for the end, but it just felt a little bit like a lost opportunity. They could have, all you're doing is upgrading the visuals of, say like Nightwing. All you do is get a slight visual change in his sticks, that's it. And like I say, some of them are better against certain enemies than others, you'd have to keep changing it, but that's by the by. The outfits I've got no beef with, apart from the constant pointless upgrading that does nothing. I never upgraded none of my suits. I earned all the new suits. I never upgraded none of them, and I finished the game. So the upgrading system is absolutely pointless in Gotham Knights. Then there's the traversals. So each one of the four characters has their own traversal. Robin has the teleportation thingy from Justice League Tech. Red Hood has the fart jumps because he got resurrected from the Lazarus pit. Nightwing's got the glider, and Batgirl's got the cape I think it is, isn't it? But they're all locked behind the knighthood. So unless you do all the knighthood challenges, well, either way, you still don't get the special traversals until later on in the game. So you're left with the grappling hook, which again is something they've taken from the original Batman Arkham collection and just made it 10 times worse. In Arkham, in the Batman Arkham, you're using the grappling hook. You can literally grapple, and you just traverse through grapples. In this, you grapple, you land, you have to wait. The only way you can move after you've done a grapple is if you jump as soon as you've grappled, and then grapple again. But that takes the point away. If you're grappling up a building, you don't want to grapple, have to climb up a bit, then grapple again, then climb up a bit, then grapple again. It's pointless. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then there's the bosses. Clayface, Penguin. Well, Penguin's more of a... You know what Penguin does is gives you tasks. It's absolutely pointless and stabs you in the back, which we all seen coming. So there's Clayface, Harley Quinn and Freeze. And again, with Freeze, I didn't even put a video of fighting Freeze on the channel in all fairness, because it's just the same as when you do any of the other bosses. So like, all you're doing is doing flips and cartwheels, hit him with a heavy attack, then hit him with a combo with 3 light ones, and then have to flip away again. If there's just, it's again, I'm going to say it again, because this was the main bugbear for me. If they'd just not fucked about with the fight mechanics and left the block, parry, whatever you want to call it, instead of replacing it for the stupid dodge, the game would have been so much better than it was. When the game was coming out, they were all like, oh, Gotham's going to be a busy city, there's going to be people everywhere. There's fucking not. The only people you see in the city in Gotham Knights is the villains and the cops, which are also villains because you kick the shit out of them anyway. There is nobody in the city. There was more people in the city in whichever Arkham game it was when Scarecrow was releasing the toxin. There was more people in that than there was in Gotham Knights. I'm back on to getting round Gotham. Do we even need to talk about the Batcycle? And I mean, it's like Batman's deliberately put a speed limiter on the Batcycle before he supposedly died, because there is no feel of speed as you're flying around Gotham. It feels like it's taking you longer to ride around on the bike than it would have took you using the grappling hook and the jumping in between all the lampposts or whatever. And why is it that they feel the need to treat everyone like a child? Why is it when you're on the bat bike or the bat cycle, whatever you want to call it, the bat cycle it is, isn't it? When you're on the bat cycle, I mean, I whenever I was on the bat cycle, I just constantly did wheelies from where I was to where I was going to, because that was about as much fun as you could have riding the bat cycle. So I wheelied everywhere on the bat cycle. Now why is it when you hit a car or a van, you don't come off the bike, you just go straight over it, like it's a speed bump, not a car? You know what I mean? It doesn't even feel like you've just gone over the car. It feels like you've just hit a pothole or a speed bump. It's just, I think the whole game, I mean, I'll be honest, the 30 frames per second thing did not bother me. Well, it bothered me a little bit, but I was okay with it being 30 frames a second, because it's just not a big thing. I just play games. I enjoy playing games that have a good story, and this, don't get me wrong, the story was okay. It wasn't it wasn't a compelling story, it was just a story. And it was as linear as they come. Um, I mean, yeah, so the 30 frames a second wasn't a big deal breaker for me, because I thought, well, do you know what? Might only be 30 frames a second, but it could still be good. And like I said, I was optimistic, and I was wrong to be, because the whole game, from start to finish, is, I wouldn't even say mediocre. It was below mediocre. It was about average, and that's fucking bad for a supposed AAA game. The animations, Batman looked realer in the Arkham series than any of the characters did in Gotham Knights. The screen, the motion capture was absolutely atrocious. I think 50% of the cutscenes, the lips were moving, and if you were deaf and you were trying to lip read, you wouldn't have a clue what they were saying, because it doesn't look like nothing. It's just, do you remember the old cartoons? If you're old like me, you remember the old cartoons in the 80s and the 90s. The mouths just moved. There was no synchronisation or certain tongue movements or lip movements for certain words so a deaf person could read it, which they are now. That's what it was like 50% of the time, even in the big cut screens, cutscenes. Cannot get my words out tonight. Yeah, so I think the game was okay. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't super bad, but it was nowhere near average neither. That's the highest grade I could give it, was average. And that's me being extremely polite, saying the highest grade I could give it was average. But that's just my thoughts. What else done me head in? Yeah, the Court of Owls were meant to be the big part of the story, and like, what was it? Maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 hours at max into the game, the Court of Owls have been pushed to the side, and the League of Shadows, League of Assassins, whatever you want to call them, they are the League of Shadows in this though, so we'll call them League of Shadows, and they were brought to the forefront. When they did the trailers for all the villains, you got the Penguin, Freeze, Harley, Clayface. They did a trailer for them like they were going to be a big part of the story. They're not. They're fucking side quests. Who wants big villains like them as side quests? If they'd have brought them into the main story fold and had them working for the court or the League of Shadows, that would have just been way better. But they don't. They bring big Batman villains in just to sell the game and have them as a side quest. Absolutely not even worth doing it. But that's just my thoughts. I was optimistic. I was extremely optimistic about Gotham Knights. Like I say, the 30 frames per second wasn't a big deal breaker for me, because I thought, as long as it's got a good story and as long as it's got decent fight mechanics, just like the Arkham games, then it's still going to be alright. And I was wrong on all accounts. If you want to get the game and try it for yourself, do not rush out and buy it. Do not rush out and buy it. Wait until it's been out for about another 3 months, and then go to your local GameStop if you're in America, or CX or Game Station if you're here in the UK, and get it second hand. It is not worth buying full price. Definitely do not buy the deluxe editions, because you are literally just pissing in the wind. there is absolutely no point. All you're getting is some extra suits and extra bits and bobs. It's not worth it. Wait till it's about 4 or 5 months old. Buy a second hand one in your local GameStop or Game Station CX, wherever you are in the world. Get it second hand. Save yourself some money, and then you won't be as disappointed when you come to the end. I think it only took me 15 hours, and that was with me just messing about. It was probably more like 7 or 8. I just kept messing about. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, I was completely on board with the game when it first got announced. Even when it come out it was only going to be 30 frames per second, that wasn't a deal breaker for me, because I thought everything else would have made it better, and it just didn't. It was just a barely average game. The animations are outdated. The fight mechanics, they could have kept what they already had, but they didn't. They just made it 10 times worse. And they just completely screwed you over with the traversals. They showed you the heroes and showed you all the traversals, and then they lock it behind the knighthood, which is absolutely pointless. I mean, I suppose to end the video, if I had to come up with a plus side to it, is this is the first game I've ever bought, brand new, that's had New Game Plus straight away. That's the only positive I can think of. It's not a hard game. It's, well, the most difficult thing about it was fighting Talia, because you had to fight Batman, so you lose all your super things, whatever they're called, abilities on him, and you fight Talia the first time, you kill her, well, you beat her, build up all your abilities again, and then she fucking regenerates, and you have to kill her again. That was the hardest part of the game, and it wasn't even that hard. Sorry about the cough, I've come down with a case of man flu, I think. So yeah, that's my opinion. If you want to buy Gotham Knights, do not buy it brand new. Wait for about 4 or 5 months, buy it second hand, save yourself a few quid, save yourself on the disappointment, and definitely only buy the bog standard version. Do not waste your money on the deluxe, the bonus, any premiums. Do not waste your money. It's absolutely pointless. I'm not going to lie to you and say the game's brilliant. It's not. It's barely average. They changed things they shouldn't have changed and made the game a million times worse than anyone ever thought it could be. Because there was 2 camps. There was either you were all in for Gotham Knights, or you were like, nah, not playing it. And I'm sorry, but the people who said, nah, I'm not playing it, turns out you were right. I'm not going to lie to you, the game is barely average. It locks things behind missions that you don't really want to do. The upgrades are pointless. The crafting's pointless. The game had so much potential, and I think that's what's pissed me off the most about it. The game had so much potential to set up a sequel to it, whether that be another Batman or whether you get individual films for all the 4 nights. Wouldn't have mattered if they just stuck with certain things that they had in the Arkham collection, like Block. How hard is it to just leave Block? No, I know, we'll make all 4 nights look like they were in the Flying Graysons instead. It's absolutely pointless. The block and parry in the Batman games was awesome. The stealth is, well, it's the stealth in the Batman games was brilliant. You could go around, kill most of the enemies in an area without being spotted. You got like 2 or 3, and they've all seen you then. In this, That's my opinion. Sorry this video's gone on a bit long, but I just felt like I needed to have a rant because I spent 50, what was it, 54 or 56 quid on this game, and I just wish I could get a refund because it was absolutely not worth it. But like I say, if you're still optimistic about the game, despite what everyone's saying, despite how shit everyone's saying it is, wait another couple of months, wait till it's gone down to about half price in the second-hand game shops, wherever you are in the world, and get it then. Do not waste 50, 60, 70, 80. I've even seen people paying 300 quid for sets, where you get all little bits in it that have nothing to do with the game. But do not buy it for full price. It's not worth it. You'll be pissed off that you've paid full price for it, and that's it. Anyway, that is my rant over. Sorry the video's been so long, but I just felt I needed to vent about it. It was that bad, and it's wound me up that much. Hopefully, when Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League comes out, that's got a bit more about it than Gotham Knights. Might as well just, I'm not even going to go on anymore. That's the video. Don't forget, hit the like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want, and I'll see you in a bit.